one of the biggest problems, from my perspective, with anarchism in Boston since I've been involved in it, was that by far the most people who even learn about it learn through the universities.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing in and of itself. Students have a lot of struggles, and it's an educational experience to come to Boston and go to school.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger problem being that most of them then leave after their 4 years,
mm-hmm.
whereas for the normal average working folk of Boston, the ideas aren't written in language that is geared towards their daily routine,
mm-hmm.
towards their daily struggles.
Right.
Whereas I think that if we focus more on issues of direct struggles in the communities and in the workplaces and in the schools too, even, I think it speaks a lot more directly to the human situation than to the theory that's mostly based on, as we mentioned before, people who've been dead for 100 years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But it's important. I'm for both, and in fact, I
definitely need both.
Believe in the combination of the two can be the most powerful way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you just gotta know the audience,
Exactly. That's right.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
And as you know, I write songs, and a lot of my songs are about anarchist history and things like that. But mostly we're singing for young folks our age who are into radical politics. So it's it's all about the audience. The same message applies,
mm-hmm.
But just like any other facet of art, you gotta tailor it to who you want to hear.
Exactly right. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm talking with Jake Carman. He's the author of the new book, 9 Years of Anarchist Agitation, The History of the Boston Anti-Authoritarian Movement, 2001 to 2010, and other essays. There's a very, very long subtitle.
Quite the mouthful.
It really is.
I apologize.
No, well, you shouldn't apologize for it.
I didn't think anyone would let me talk about it on the radio, so.
Oh, now you knew someone would, and here we are.
Just you.
Just me. Well, maybe not just me, but okay. Me to start with, and I'm honored to be the first. We'll see where this goes from here. So it's an interesting book in that it includes so much content. So many different events that took place in the past 10 years from all over the world. And then you've got the section at the end that talks about the BAM specifically and its history. I want to ask you, what's left out? So what's going to be in your next book? What didn't you get
Well, that's
to?
why I'm starting the new paper. No, I'm just kidding.
Apparently. Maybe. Are you kidding?
Honestly, I'm planning a book for the fairly distant future where I'd like to look at, I guess, the nature of different anarchist organizations. And we talked a little bit about the different types of anarchists before. But to look at the structure and the content of these organizations, specifically during times of uprisings, and there's been a lot of uprisings that anarchists have participated in.
Mm-hmm.
Some have gone better than others.
Yeah.
Most haven't gone all that well.
Right.
But I'd like to do a study of those, and
what went right and what went wrong.
Exactly.
So we can learn from that.
Exactly. And it's not
Very
like
important.
all of history is immediately applicable to us today, but there's always something you could take from it.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of history.
That's great. So where do people get this book?
Well, you can get the book. If you live in Boston, I would highly suggest taking a run down to the Lucy Parsons Center on Center Street in Jamaica Plain. I cannot remember the exact address.
You'll find it. Just go walk down Center Street and say, where the anarchists at?
Exactly. And they have a website. It's a Lucy Parsons Center. Check it out. They got the book. You could also find it on my website if you don't live in Boston. It's jakecarman, CARMAN.com, and you could purchase it right there.
And I bet you can also purchase your CDs from your band, Jake and the Infernal Machine.
Not yet. I'm working on that.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
I'm not good at the internet. I should be. I'm 26, right?
So therefore, you should be. I don't know. I've been doing it longer than you, so I should be better than you. But that's beside the point.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah, it is. It's just a different way. Who knows? And everyone should be good at the internet because it's such a useful tool, isn't it?
It's awesome. It's pretty good.
It is really helpful. So it's lucyparsons.org.
Okay.
to find out more about the Lucy Parsons Center, a wonderful resource for many decades here in the Boston area. It used to be in Cambridge, now in Boston. It's got that new location, which is a boon to Jamaica Plain.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you, Jake Carman, for coming down and talking with us once again on What's Left. I hope you'll come back again, talk about your next project.
Anytime. Thanks so much for having us.
And well, you'll have to let us know when the new paper comes out.
Oh, I'll definitely let you know.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to that. So thank you again, and you are listening to What's Left on WMBR in Cambridge. Let's get a little patriotic here.